I never thought humiliation would come from the Hispanic woman I loved most. Until the night she turned me, a Hispanic man.
I never thought the deepest humiliation I'd ever feel would come from the person I loved most. Yet there I was, standing in my own living room, surrounded by our neighbors and my coworkers, feeling my dignity crumble with every careless joke she made. My name is Daniel. I'm 38, and I've been married to Emily for 10 years. Our life wasn't a fairy tale, but it was steady. At least that's what I believed. We had shared dreams, we'd had our arguments and made up, and we'd woken up next to each other for a decade. So, when she decided to host a casual Saturday night get-together, I expected warmth, light conversation, maybe some good music and shared laughter. What I got was a nightmare. The house was buzzing with chatter and the clinking of glasses. I was in the kitchen, pouring drinks, when I felt her presence behind me. It was Emily leaning confidently against the doorway, a familiar sparkle of mischief in her eyes. It was the kind of mischief I had learned to fear over the years. "You know," she announced loudly, her voice cutting through the noise and drawing several heads in her direction. "Sometimes I think I could trade Daniel in for a better husband." A few people let out a nervous chuckle. Some just froze, unsure how to react, but Emily wasn't done. She was just getting started. "Someone taller, smarter," she mused, sipping her wine with theatrical flair. "And definitely someone who knows how to fix things around the house without breaking them first." This time the laughter was louder, exploding around the room. I just stood there, a cold drink in my hand, forcing a smile onto my face as a hot flush of shame crept up my neck. They were laughing at her joke, but the joke was me. I didn't say a single word. What was the point? If I reacted, if I showed even a hint of being upset, she'd just call me sensitive or dramatic or tell me I was overthinking things. She always hid behind those labels, using them as a shield for her cruelty. So instead I just stepped back into the corner of the kitchen, pretending to be busy arranging the drinks on the counter. My heart was thudding painfully in my chest as the sound of her laughter echoed through the room. 10 years. 10 years of loyalty, of partnership. And this was how she presented me to our friends? Like I was nothing more than a cheap punchline. That's when I saw him, Mr. Thompson, our elderly next-door neighbor, standing quietly near the hallway. He's a tall, calm man, always polite, someone who commanded respect without ever having to raise his voice. He had seen it all. He'd heard every word. He'd witnessed every mocking laugh. And unlike everyone else, he wasn't smiling. Emily, completely oblivious, continued her performance. "Honestly, I think it's time for an upgrade. Maybe a husband who actually knows what he's doing for once." More laughter erupted, more humiliation for me, more silence. I gripped the edge of the counter, just trying to keep myself grounded, to keep my composure from shattering. Just as Emily was about to deliver another verbal blow, Mr. Thompson stepped forward. He didn't rush. He didn't glare. He simply cleared his throat, a quiet, firm sound that was somehow powerful enough to silence the entire room. "Emily," he said, his voice calm but demanding attention. "I think you should reconsider your words." She blinked, startled by the interruption. "Oh, come on, Mr. Thompson, it's just a joke." But he didn't smile back. His expression didn't soften. "It may be a joke to you," he said, his gaze steady, "but it certainly isn't to Daniel." I felt my breath catch in my throat. Someone finally saw me." He continued, his hands folded neatly behind his back, his voice gentle yet sharp enough to cut through the heavy air. "Daniel is one of the most hard-working, respectful, and honest men I have ever had the pleasure of knowing. A husband like him doesn't come easily." A profound silence flooded the room. Every last chuckle vanished. Every smirk dissolved into discomfort. Emily stood frozen, her confident expression melting away into something like confusion, and maybe, just maybe, a flicker of embarrassment. "I didn't mean—" she started to stammer, but Mr. Thompson cut her off. "But intent does not erase impact," he stated calmly. "Respect is not something to be joked about, especially not in front of a room full of people." A low murmur rippled through the guests, soft, uncomfortable, and undeniably on my side. People started exchanging glances, finally seeing the situation for what it was. They were finally seeing what I had been living with, what I had been swallowing down for years just to keep the peace. Emily opened her mouth, then closed it, then opened it again, but no words came out. The spotlight she had so eagerly shone on me had now swung back around, and it was fixed squarely on her. She had tried to make me look small, to make me feel insignificant. But in that moment, she was the one standing exposed and alone. And for the first time that night, I didn't shrink. I didn't force an awkward laugh. I didn't feel the need to apologize for being hurt. I just stood there quietly, letting someone else speak the truth that I had been too afraid to say out loud for so long. Mr. Thompson turned to me then and gave a slight, almost imperceptible nod. It was a soft, supportive gesture, but it carried so much weight. In that single nod, he said, "I've got your back." And damn, that simple act of solidarity meant more to me than he could ever know. A strange sense of calm washed over me, a feeling I hadn't experienced in years. It was a powerful reminder that my worth didn't depend on Emily S. jokes or her approval. My worth had always been there, whole and intact, just waiting for someone, even if it wasn't her, to acknowledge it. Emily's confidence completely crumbled. Her cheeks turned a deep shade of red. Her eyes darted around the room, desperately searching for an ally, for someone to join her side. She had wanted laughter. What she got was dead silence. She had wanted the room to join her in mocking me. But instead, they had all turned toward the truth. She whispered so quietly I could barely hear her. I didn't realize. Of course she didn't. People who make cruelty a habit rarely do. They get so used to tearing others down that they become blind to the pain they cause. That night, Mr. Thompson didn't just defend me. He held up a mirror to Emily, and for the first time, she was forced to see her own reflection. And it wasn't pretty. The party ended soon after that, the guests leaving with quiet goodbyes and averted eyes. That night changed everything. It was the beginning of the end for Emily and me, but it was also the beginning of me finding my voice again, all thanks to the quiet courage of a good neighbor. Thank you so much for listening to my story. If you've ever felt small or unheard, remember that your worth is not defined by those who try to diminish you. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories. See you next time.